Yes, good morning. So, n queens problem and also sum of subset problem, isn't it? So we saw how backtracking is applied for solving the problem of this n queens as well as sum of subset. So today we will see what is graph coloring, okay, and also what is Hamiltonian cycle and how this backtracking is applicable for these two problems. Okay, yes. So if you look at this, okay, so graph coloring problem, what you are supposed to do in this. So first you will be having a graph, okay. So let us assume that this graph has n number of nodes, okay, and based on the connections between the nodes you have to color each and every node, okay. So the problem is to color the vertices or the nodes of the graph in such a way that no two adjacent nodes should have the same color. Adjacent in the sense if the two nodes are connected, okay. If the two nodes are connected, those two nodes cannot have same color, okay. So that is the constraint, okay. So no two adjacent nodes should have the same color, and you have to color all the nodes. And one more thing, one more constraint is you have to use minimum number of colors, okay. You have to use minimum number of colors, okay. So let us see how to solve the problem. So let us take one example. So if you consider this example, okay, so look at the graph. So if you look at this, A is connected to B, A is connected to F, B is connected to C, B is connected to F, okay, and also to A. Then what about C? C is connected to B, D and E, and D is connected to C and E, E is connected to D, C, F, F is connected to A, B and E, okay. So what we are supposed to do is we will start from one of the vertices. So let us assume we will start from vertex A, okay. So you are going to start coloring the vertex A, then you will proceed with the next vertices, okay. So here that is what we are talking about. So the vertices, let us consider the order as A to F. So let us consider first node A and let us color it with red, okay. Some random colors you can pick. So now because we have colored the node A with red, you cannot color node B also, node B with red, isn't it? So the next node in the sequence is node B. So you need to color node B now. But which color will we use? We cannot use this red because B is connected to A. So you cannot use the same color as A. So let us consider some other color, say green, okay. So what we have done here is we have colored node B with green, okay. Now let us assume you need to, what is the next node in the sequence? The next node is node C, okay. So we are done coloring with node A. Node A is colored with red. Node B we have given the green color. Why we cannot give the same color? Because A is connected to B. So both of these are adjacent vertices or adjacent nodes. So these nodes cannot have same color, okay. So that is what written here. So we cannot have same color as A because B is connected to A. So we will take some other color. So we have taken color green. Now the next node in the sequence is C. So we will check what can be done. See, look at this. So we have considered C. Now C is connected to B. So we cannot use color green. Yes, but C, is it connected to A? No, C is not connected to A. As I am supposed to use the minimum number of colors to color all the nodes of this graph, what I will do is I will again fill this node C with color red, okay. What I am trying to do, I am trying to fill every node with some random colors in such a way that none of the adjacent nodes have the same color. So if I look at this, C is connected to B, so it is adjacent to B. I cannot have same color for C. So what I'll do is, as C is not connected to A, I will color C with red. Okay. So now let us proceed with the next one. The next node here is D. So let us assume, okay, we want to color D now. So D, it is connected to C. So I cannot color this node with red. But D, is it connected to B? No, it is not connected to B. So what I'll do is, I'll color this node D with green. Okay, because I need to use minimum number of colors. So I'm fine with using green also, because B is not connected to D. Okay, so now again we'll go to the next one. Next in the sequence, the node we have is E. Okay, so if you look at that, so E, I cannot color with red as well as green. Okay, C, I cannot color with red as well as green. So I'll use a different color. Sorry, here there is some mismatch. Okay, it was supposed to be orange or black. If you consider black also, that is also fine. So it should not be of same color with as C and D, because E is connected to C as well as D. Okay, so next we will proceed to F. So if I consider F, now can I color that node with red, green and black or orange, whatever we consider the third color? So if I consider red, F is connected to A, so I cannot color this node with red. F is also connected to B, so I cannot color this node with green. F is also connected to E, so I cannot color this F with the third color what I have used, isn't it? So what we will do is, now if you look at this, yes, so if you look at this, what it tells is, so if you try to color F, you cannot color it with same color as A, B and E, because F is connected to all these three nodes. So what we do is, we again go back to the previous node and try to change the color. So we were in the current node, the current node was E, we had colored E, and F cannot be colored with red, green and black or orange. So what we try to do is, we try to go to the previous node and try to change the color of it. So if I reach the previous node, yes, so if you look at this, so we are going to the previous node, that is the node D, and trying to change the color for node D. Okay, so we will just try to change the color for node D. If I try to color it with some other color apart from red and green, let me take the third color. Okay, so what we did, we changed the color of the node D. Okay, so then we will proceed whether we can color it with minimum number of colors. So our intention is to color all the nodes with minimum number of colors, and those minimum number of colors, what we are planning is, let me restrict it to 3 different colors. Okay, so now node D is colored with orange. Now what we have done is, node E, we colored it with green. Okay, so previously when we reached F, we should have used 4th color. Okay, but now when we traced back and we just tried to change the order, that is A with red, B with green, we came to C also it is colored with red. Instead of D coloring with green, we have used the 3rd color here. Then when you reach E, it will be colored with the 2nd color, that is green color. Then again we will reach F and we will try what color we are supposed to use. So if we reach F, okay, now if you check B and E, it is colored with green, so you cannot color the node F with green. A is colored with red, you cannot color the node F with red because these are adjacent nodes for node F. So what we did is we colored this node F with orange. So now all the nodes are colored, and if you look at this graph, none of the adjacent nodes are having the same color. Okay, so what is the intention is you need to color all the nodes or all the vertices with minimum number of colors, and the constraint is you cannot have the same color for adjacent nodes. Okay, so this is what is graph coloring is. Okay, if you look at the example, okay, so if you look at this example, so I hope you have understood this example. So how to color the nodes. So we start with the sequence. So in order to start, we have started with the node A. From node A we reached node B because that is the next in the sequence, then C, then D, then E and F. So initially what we did, we colored node A with red, B with green, C with red and D with green. Then E with third color, because E is connected to both C and D, we cannot have the same color for E. So we used the third color there. But when we came to F, we should have used fourth color. So that is the reason we went back to the previous node, that is node D, and changed the color of node D. So instead of green, we applied the third color, that is orange. Then we checked, okay, E, it is not connected to B, so we can have green color for E. And then we come to F. So F, as it is connected to A, B and E, we cannot have this red and green color for F. So we have applied the third color. So now the total number of colors used is 3. So that would be the least number of colors that you can use for this graph. Okay. So now let us consider one more example. So now look at the second example. So if you start coloring the first node, so let us consider node 1. So node 1 we will try to color it with some random color. Then node 2, can we color it with same color? No, we cannot color node 2 also with the same color because 2 is connected to 1. Now next, if I try to color node 3, I cannot color it as same as 1 and 2 because 3 is connected to both 1 and 2. If I consider node 4, now I cannot color it with the same color as 3, as 1 and as 2 because 4 is connected to 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so let us see how many colors we will have to use to color this graph. Yes, so that is what is given here. So if we try to color node 2, we cannot color it as same as node 1. So let us assume we have given the second color to node 2. Now node 3 we cannot color as same as 1 and 2. So let us assume we have given the third color. Okay. Now what about 4? Obviously I will have to give the fourth color to node 4 because it is connected to 1, it is connected to 2 and it is also connected to 3. Okay. So if you look at the graph, and what about 5? 5, can it be given with the, should it be given with the fifth color or can we use any of these 4 colors only? Yes, we can use. It is as only connected to 2 and 4. You can give any color among 1 and 3. Okay, you can give any one color among 1 and 3. You cannot give the same color as 2 and you cannot give the same color as 4 because 5 is connected to 2 and 4. You can give any one color among 1 and 3. Yes, so if you look at this, what we have done, so node 2 with color green, node 3 with orange, node 4 with violet, and then again node 5 we can give any color among red and orange because it is not connected to 1 and 3. So we have used red color. Okay, so this is what is graph coloring. So the problem is you need to color each and every node of the graph in such a way that the adjacent nodes are not having the same color, and you have to use minimum number of colors. Okay, so that is how backtracking is applicable in this graph coloring. So you start with the sequence, you reach the next node, and if at all you feel that okay, it can be colored with minimum number of colors but we are using an additional color, so then you can go back to the previous node and you can change the color of the node. Okay, so I hope you have understood what is graph coloring. Any doubts regarding graph? We will look into Hamiltonian circuit problem. So what is this Hamiltonian circuit problem? How this is, why this is under backtracking, we will see. Okay, so if you look at this, Hamiltonian circuit problem is nothing but you are given with a graph. Okay, so you have to start from one particular node, traverse all the nodes and reach back to the same node. Okay, and it should form a cycle. So that is what is Hamiltonian circuit tells. So if you start from a node, traverse every node and reach back to the same node, then it is obviously a cycle. So Hamiltonian circuit is nothing but it is defined as a cycle. So it passes through all the vertices of the graph exactly once. Okay, so this, you remember traveling salesman problem? So in traveling salesman problem, what we did, we started from one node, we traversed all the nodes, but there you had to traverse via least cost path, isn't it? Here it is nothing like that. Here you can get a number of solutions. There you could get only one solution because that was least cost. Okay, so here you can get a number of solutions. So any number of feasible solutions. So condition is you have to start from a node, traverse all the nodes and reach back to the same node. So if you look at this example, so here how many nodes you have? You have 6 nodes. So A, B, C, D, E and F. So let us try to traverse starting from A, and we will see what are the different ways we can traverse and reach back to A. Okay, so if you look at this diagram, so you started from A. Okay, you start from A, then you reach to the next one, B. So if you look at the graph, A is connected to B. Yes, A is connected to B. So I can reach from A to B. Yes, I can reach from A to B. Then from B, what are the vertices that are connected to B? So if you look at that, B is connected to C as well as F. Okay, B is connected to C as well as F. So if you look at the graph, B is connected to C as well as F. So I'll just proceed with C. Okay, so if I proceed with C, then let us check for C. C is connected to what? C is connected to D and E. See, C is connected to D and E. A and B is already done, so we will not look back to the previous node. So from A to B, B to C, C is connected to D and E. So we will just traverse via D. So D we have done. Next, D is connected to E. So from D we will reach to E. Because D is only connected to A and C, so we cannot go back to A. So we will just check for E. Okay, so from D we will reach E, and from E we will reach F. Okay, so D, then D to E, and then E to F. But from F can we reach back to A? So if you look at the graph, from A you don't have, from F you cannot reach A because A is not connected to F. Okay, so A to B we reached, B to C we reached, C to D, D to E, E to F. But from F you cannot reach back to A. There is no connection between F and A. So that means we have reached the dead end here. Okay, so if you look at this, we have reached the dead end. So we will go back to the previous node E. So E, obviously we have to reach F and then A. So again that is not possible. So again we will go back to D and check is there any other route from D. Okay, so if you go back to D, no, there is no other route from D because you have already come to D from C and you have to go to E. There is no other option. So again we will go back to C and check whether we have any other possible route. So from C we had reached D. Now we can go to E and check whether we can frame a cycle over there. So from C we will again reach to E. Okay, and from E you have only two possibilities. Either you have to go to D or you have to go to F. So even if you go to D, you can reach back to A, but you will not cover this vertex F. And from E, if you go to F, you cannot reach D and you cannot reach back to A. So again that is a dead end. See, look at this. So from E, if you traverse, you can traverse to either D or F, but from D you cannot go to F and then to A. So again it will not form a cycle with all the vertices. So if I consider F, from F you don't have any paths to D or A. So again it will not frame a cycle considering all the vertices. So again we will go back from C to B and try to find a different path. Okay, so now A to B, B to C, instead of going to C we can go to F. Okay, so now from B to F, then F is connected to B and E. Already from B we have reached F, so the next vertex is E. So from E you can reach either C or D. Yes, from E you can reach either C or D. So if I consider C, so I can reach C. Then from C I can reach D. From D I can reach A, isn't it? Or if I go via this, E to D, D to C and C to A, that also will form a cycle. Yes. So here if you see A to B, B to F, F to E, E to C, C to D and then again to A. So this is the path which is chosen. So A to B, B to F, F to E, E to C, C to D and D to A. Or you can have a path A to B, B to F, F to E, E to D, D to C and then C to A. Okay. So that is what we are going to do here. That is nothing but you are just trying to find a cycle. Okay. How you are going to try find a cycle? You can start from any vertex. Okay. You can start from any vertex. There is no restriction that you have to start from vertex A only. Even if you start from vertex B, that is also fine, or vertex C, that is also fine. But ultimately you should get the cycle, and that cycle you should have visited all the nodes and you have to reach back to the start node from where you started. So let us assume we start from B. So what I can do is I can reach from B to A, then from A to C, C to D, D to E, E to F and F to B. That also will give me the solution, isn't it? So how many different solutions we can get? There are so many different solutions that we can get, isn't it? So B to A to C, C to D, D to E, E to F. Or I can go this way, B to A to D, D to C, C to E, E to F and F to B. If I start from F, I can go this way, F to E, C, D, A, B and back to F. Or I can go this way, anti-clockwise, F to B, B to A to C, C to D, D to E, E to F. Yes. So Hamiltonian cycle is nothing but you have to reach each and every vertices in the cycle and reach back to the vertex from where you start. So this is what is Hamiltonian cycle. I hope you have understood what is Hamiltonian cycle. Okay, so it is nothing but you have to, it is nothing but finding a circuit. Circuit is nothing but it should be a closed one. So that is nothing but a cycle. Okay, so Hamiltonian circuit is nothing but as a cycle that passes through all the vertices of the graph exactly once except the start vertex. So start vertex also you should end on the same vertex. So if you start from that particular location, you reach back that location. So you have to visit each and every node and it should form a cycle. So this is how you are going to work on Hamiltonian circuit. Okay, so you can start from any vertex. There is no restriction on you have to start from A or you have to start from B. You can take any vertex, but it should form a cycle visiting all the nodes in the graph. Okay, see, if you look at this, this is called as state space tree. Okay, that is nothing but, see, if you look at these numbers, see 0, so you are just started with one vertex, so that vertex we are considering it as start vertex. So 1, so you are moving from A to B, then B to C, C to D. So these numbers are nothing but the sequence of sequence of steps whatever you follow. So A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, E to F. Now you have reached the dead end. From F you cannot reach A because there is no path. So you are going back and then trying to find a different path. See, this is step 5 and this is step 6. So backtracking and then trying to find a different path. So from E you couldn't find a path, from D you couldn't find a path, so you came back to C and tried to choose a different path. So then next you reach to D, so again you found the dead end, so go back and try to find a different path. Again you reach the dead end, so go back and go back to the previous node and try to find a different path. Okay, so this is how backtracking is applicable in this Hamiltonian cycle problem.